Good morning. Today I'll be discussing the Acres Homes Redevelopment Project, an initiative aimed at revitalizing one of Houston's most historic and culturally grounded neighborhoods while centering community equity, affordability, and long-term resilience. So today we're here at the Acres Homes Multi-Service Center. This is the Community Development Center where the community gathers for different events. Who led this effort to make Acres Homes a new affordable housing area was the City of Houston, nonprofits and community development corporations, also faith-based organizations and neighborhood advocates who ensured residents' voices shaped the process. So we will go on a little tour of Acres Homes and the new development that they have started, and then I'll give you some more insight about the project and what they created. All right, so where is it located? It's located in Acres Homes, which is Northwest Houston. It was selected due to its rich, historically Black cultural heritage. This part of the city is one of the post-war Black suburbs. So what we're aiming to do here is create affordable housing, mixed-use community spaces, and supportive services tailored to local needs. The project emphasizes single-family and multifamily affordable units, along with small business spaces, streetscape improvements, and in some phases, a health or wellness-oriented community hub, which is here. You also can see the construction, and a lot of the streets are blocked off because they are improving the streetscape as well. As we're riding, we could talk about some of the challenges with the project. So some of the challenges is community distrust, of course. Community feels as though people are just coming in and buying the neighborhood and not considering their needs. It's also debates over how many units should be actual affordable. It is pushing some of the residents out because some of them have such a low income that they can't afford these new developments. So they beg the question of who are these properties really for? Who are they here to benefit? So now we're going to drive through one of the neighborhoods with some of the new development so you can get a look at some of the houses in the area and the changes that are being made. As you see some of these houses, you can tell what the new build is versus what the old streetscape of the community. A lot of houses still for sale. So that one looks like it was sold. New neighbors, new community. Also, an interesting part about this neighborhood is that they do not have a HOA. So you'll see a lot of different things here with what people do with their property. Built here. To discuss some of these new builds, I do have to lead into the financing and the tools that were used. So there were a variety of tools that were layered to make this redevelopment financially feasible. Some of those were low-income housing tax credits to subsidize affordable units. Also, CDFI loans for pre-development and acquisition. And then also the TIERS funding, which was supporting infrastructure and public space improvements. The City of Houston actually offers, starting at $50,000 up to $120,000 for residents, first-time home buyers who haven't had a home in 3 years. If you meet those qualifications, you're able to get the home at a lower rate and get your down payment and closing costs covered. So that's a good incentive that helps the people be able to afford these properties and these developments so that they weren't just building them with no one that can come into the home. So this is one of them. A lot of the units are 4 bedrooms, three and 4 bedroom units with 3 bathrooms or 2.5 baths. And then they're ranging from like 228,000 to 240,000. I want to say I've seen one for 265,000 as well in my research. But this just gives you a feel of what the community looks like with the new developments being in the Acres Homes area. If you don't mind, I am recording it for a school project. That's a valid concern. You like the way the houses look? Okay. Okay, so you think the taxes potentially going up could cause displacement with some of the current residents?
Yes, don't see a lot of these people that have been here for years.
Okay.
They were here long before some of the new people ever even thought about,
Do you think that the developers are considering the residents, or do you think they just came through bulldozing and changing things around, or do you think they're taking into consideration the community's input?
Okay, I'm not sure of that because, what can I say, tax purpose wise,
Right.
I would say they need, the city need to consider that.
Okay.
Who's ever in charge, the appraisals,
Okay.
I would say they need to consider that.
Okay, awesome. So other than the tax rising, you don't have any discrepancies about new people coming into the neighborhood or them building the new houses for the community?
As long as they can get along with me, I can get along with them. I can get along with anybody.
That's awesome. I appreciate your insight today.
We race, creed, or color, My family is diversified.
Okay.
Some are married to white, some married to Puerto Ricans,
Okay.
some married to Philippines.
That's awesome. And what's your name?
My name is Shepherd.
Shepherd. Okay, Shepherd. My name is Kiana. Very nice to meet you, and I appreciate you giving the insight from our project here today. Okay, so as you see, we just talked to a resident of the community. The biggest concern with the project is the taxes raising in the area. That could lead to displacement of the current community that's here. This project does exemplify prioritizing affordability and anti-displacement. We can do better by involving the community members early and consistently, and then also bringing health, economic, and cultural resources into the neighborhood. It falls short where affordability levels may not reach the lowest income residents. So like I just mentioned, that displacement. Market pressures still pose risk for long-term displacement, and then community engagement processes may not include every subgroup. So as the resident just spoke, there's a lot of diversity in this area. So there's Black, Hispanics, Mexicans, whites. It's diverse in the area. So we just want to make sure that every subgroup is calculated and included in the decisions. If I were developing a project like this in the future, then I would start with community visioning, making sure I'm including the community in all decisions and making sure I know what the community needs before I start breaking ground. Then I will also use diverse funding sources early to avoid dependency on a single tool. So they did a good job with stacking resources financially and then offering incentives for the actual residents who want to move into these affordable houses. But I would just start doing that earlier. And then I will also prioritize deep affordability where possible and protect existing residents from anti-displacement policies. Preserve the cultural identity would be a major thing for me. This is a historically Black neighborhood, so we would like to maintain the culture of the environment and not change it or disturb the culture too much. Again, this project was discussing the Acres Homes new redevelopment program. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or shoot me a message and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Thank you again. My name is Kiana.